watching Season 2, Episode 10, Off the Puck Hockey on the FHN Network. Tonight, I'm going to be your host. As Findsy, he's away tonight doing real-life things and working. But you can catch us on Rogers TV every Saturday night on Channel 20. And you can also catch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Just follow us at Off the Puck for dates, guests, and give us a like and follow us, please. Tonight we have a couple hot topics. The McDavid hit we'll get into maybe a little bit. The McKinnon helmet throw. And I don't know if you've seen Chandler Stevenson hit last night, but he got a 3-gamer for that one as well. But we'll get into that later. But first, we want to introduce my good bud and co-host, Mr. Mikey Walker. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
Good, man. Took the day off work today and worked on the boat, getting that ready for the upcoming season. And trying to
escape from all the kids and wifey for a little bit.
Oh yeah. It's tough to do once in a while, but we make it work.
All right. Well, before we get going, and I want to introduce our guest as he's a true beauty, one hell of a human being. And also, in my eyes, responsible for the St. Louis Cup win. And also, he's not only known for that, he's one of the best in his game and what he does. The jeweler himself, Mr. Larry Flowers. How are you, my man?
What an intro. A lot of my teachers disagree with that, but that's okay. I appreciate it. Good to be with you boys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I really appreciate your time, man. Really appreciate it. Big fans of you. Let the fans know, audience know kind of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm based out in Los Angeles. I own a jewelry company. I sell high end and everything from engagement rings to high end timepieces, everything from entry level Rolexes to big boy APs and Pateks, and I do engagement rings again and custom jewelry, everything from A to Z in the jewelry game. I do high end, the highest quality manufacturing and at wholesale pricing. I'm a guy's guy jeweler, so I love taking care of the boys, making sure they get good quality product at good pricing. And that's basically who I am. I deal with a lot of guys in the NHL, Major League Baseball, celebrities, NFL guys. I've built a great business. I enjoy working with a lot of the people that I work with, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, if you follow, you're always posting all your pieces and stuff, and you say the retail price and you show your price. I'm blown away by the big difference that you can just save just through that. Pretty amazing, man.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I got into this business about 12 years ago, and I found that a lot of people I was working with, they're always looking to hit home runs and take advantage of certain situations, and I didn't really like that. I was brought into this business by an old friend of mine, and I didn't really like the feeling was kind of off. I'm very transparent in nature. And so when I started my own company, I said, you know what, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to do it very, very transparent and basically just give the people what they deserve. And, I'm a Northeast Philly guy, and I like taking care of people. I believe people have the right to, get a really good product and not have to overpay or get taken advantage of. And so Larry Flowers Jewelry was created, and I've got a lot of amazing clients, especially guys in the NHL. I love hockey is my background, and I'm honored and privileged to work with a lot of superstars. I got Connor McDavid, and I mean the list goes on in the NHL, and I'm very proud of that. So just take care of all the boys. Doesn't matter if you're playing the NHL or if you're just a regular fella. Everybody gets taken care of proper, and that's how I run my business.
Absolutely. How did you? You said you got into it with your buddy. You kind of brought you into it. How did you start getting into it with the NHLers and getting kind of big like that?
Yeah, so I when I got into the business or started to learn the business, obviously I already had a great network in the NHL. I have a lot of friends of mine were already playing in the league. Scotty Upshaw, Joffrey Loophole, Mike Comrie, Eric Nystrom. I mean, there's a long list of guys that we were all real tight. And I once I started to build my business, I actually started in the gold business and slowly shifted towards jewelry. And I had an opportunity for a couple of guys that were asking me, to make do I do engagement rings? And it's not rocket science. Yeah. And so I did, and I did a great job. And Then I did another one, and the hockey world is very, very small.
Yeah,
It's a very tight knit
absolutely
community,
is.
as you guys
Yes.
know. And
Yes.
you get one guy in the locker room, you get two guys in the locker room, you get a couple of their good friends on another team, and it snowballs. And obviously, I had something pretty cool happen a few years ago, or a couple of years ago, which catapulted my company to another level with the Blues, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit. But
Absolutely.
yeah, so I've just been grinding, just networking and treating people right. But also, more importantly, like the way I really got into my network within the NHL, other than those names that I mentioned earlier, was living out in LA. One of my best buddies out here was, he's a Toronto guy, and he knew tons of guys in the league, and teams would come into LA, and he would host them and take them out to nice dinners. He's very well known here in Los Angeles, and he would take teams out to dinners and entertain and stuff like that. And him and I used to play, AAA tournaments in Toronto growing up, and we ran into each other in LA. We became really good friends. He's like my brother now. His name's Cody Leibel. If anyone doesn't know who he is, legend. But funny, over time, he kind of was like, he was married, and he's like, eventually he's like, hey man, we want to take this team out for me. Like, then you want to take this team out for me.
Oh boy.
And so I was basically just taking full NHL teams out to like rookie dinners, and setting them up at like, because I'm pretty dialed in, like in the nightlife scene, where I was, or I still am, but I try not to go out as much anymore, especially obviously this year. But no, but I was taking, entertaining a lot of guys, and I met a ton of guys and made a good impression with a lot of the boys, and my network just exploded within the NHL. And obviously, when I really made a full push in this business, it was an easy transition. So I'm very fortunate.
Nice. You got anything, Walker, or you want me to keep going?
I just kind of want to we talk quite a bit of hockey on here. You said you played AAA growing up and stuff. Kind of what's your hockey background you got, and like how much of your competitive hockey lifestyle moved over into your jewelry business to be?
Good question, Walker. That's what I was gonna ask too.
Yeah, so I played youth hockey for the Philadelphia Junior Flyers. At that time, it was only AA, except for the summers. The summers we had AAA. That was the highest level in the Philadelphia area. But we had great rosters. I played in 2 national championships. We won the bronze medal in '96. A couple years before, we had a great rivalry with Alaska All-Stars and Scotty Gomez, who's a very, very good friend of mine. Yep. So, I played great youth hockey, and again, had the privilege of playing in a couple of national championships, and, played AAA hockey a ton in the summers, especially up in Canada. And eventually I went and played at a small school in just outside of Boston, outside of Worcester, actually, called Nichols College, a good hockey school. We had a great coach, John Carter, who recruited me. Lost his eye, played for the Boston Bruins in an exhibition game.
Seriously?
Yeah, he's a legend in the Boston area. He ended up playing still in the NHL for a while with only one eye, and he was great, and I loved him. And the school was small, and I didn't particularly love it. I thought things could have gone a little differently for me. It wasn't exactly my path that I was expecting in my hockey career. I had an opportunity to go play pro in France. I have French citizenship, so nice. which I turned down. Talking it over with my family, I prefer to go to college and get an education. And after my freshman year, I won the ECAC Northeast Rookie of the Year.
Nice.
In college. And to be honest, my coach got fired. He had a falling out with the AD at the time, and I loved him, and it just wasn't the right fit. So I had an opportunity to apply to some other colleges. I ended up deciding to go to the University of Pittsburgh, which is actually club hockey. I played a half a season. It really wasn't my, I was a little sour about it. It wasn't really for me. It was a step down from what I was used to. And so I kind of hung him up a little bit, but it was, I loved, listen, hockey was a huge part of my life. I'm from a pretty tough neighborhood in Northeast Philadelphia.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of things. Like my family always says, hockey kept me off the street. I made friends that I'm still best friends with to this day. There's nothing like hockey parents and waking up at 4 a.m. and the experience helped me become a better person. And I wouldn't trade it in for the world. There's nothing like the hockey world. It's on another level compared to any other sport. Anybody that plays hockey, especially you guys and your fans, guys that follow, you guys all know. I'm very, very privileged to have been a part of the hockey world.
Absolutely. You said, what'd you say? East Philly, you said?
Northeast Philadelphia.
Northeast Philly. So are you a big Fresh Prince fan?
I was actually. As a matter of fact, my father was a musician, and there's a really, really top-notch studio in Philadelphia, and he used to take me in when he was recording with his band. And this one time we were in there, and Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff were in there recording. Cool. They were recording the album with Summertime, and awesome. And I was a kid, man. And I loved them. I mean, I was a big time fan, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm just hanging out, and I'm looking at all the records on the wall, and I'm watching them through this window, and I'm just in shock. And eventually, Will Smith comes out with Jazzy Jeff, and they go, "Hey, man, how you doing, buddy?" And I'm looking up at them like, "Holy."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. And they're like, "Hey, you ever heard of us?" And I'm like, I didn't know what to say. And eventually I was like, I'm as big a fan as you can get. And they're like, "Really, man, it's nice to meet you." They brought me in the room. We were playing Nintendo at the time. They brought me in to play some Nintendo for about 20 minutes. It was a cool experience. It was a cool experience.
So cool, man.
Yeah, man.
Nice. So was it your dad in a big name band or just small little band?
No, it was a smaller band. My dad was a magnificent drummer, and he was actually recruited by Dave Matthews Band, believe it or not.
Oh, no way.
Way before they were anything.
Really?
I've got all the demos back home. They were asking him to go down to Virginia and be a part of their band and see what happens. And he had a young family. My brother and I were kids, so he said, "I appreciate it, but unfortunately, I got a family here in Philadelphia area, and I got to raise my family. I can't make that happen." And so many years later, they become at the time one of the biggest bands in the world, and
no doubt.
And my dad let me down for that.
Yeah.
But my father was a magnificent drummer, and it was cool. I used to like hanging out with my dad while he played music.
Absolutely. You say your brother, how old? Younger, older?
My brother's a year and a half younger. Total opposites. I was the outgoing. I played sports. I loved like mixing it up, hanging out with the boys. And my brother's more introverted, smart, like chill, low key. But my brother was awesome. My brother, he followed me everywhere, especially to like the rink and my games. And he was my biggest fan, like, as a kid. He always supported me, and he was there. Like he would always beg to sit in the locker room with me. Like we were kids. I mean, I was 10 years old, and he would still just want to be in the locker room, sit next to me, like watch me get dressed and stuff. Awesome. So my brother's cool. We're real close. In fact, my brother lives like 3 miles from me here in Los Angeles.
Oh, he does.
So we spend a lot of time. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I was gonna get into a little bit of jewelry with you. What's kind of your favorite pieces? What's your favorite watch?
Yeah, well, it's funny you should say that. Well, so my favorite watch technically is the Patek Philippe 5980 R. It's I don't have one in my office right now. I've actually sold a few. They go for about $190,000.
Really?
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. That's my personal favorite. I'm actually wearing an, I don't know if you guys can see it.
Oh yeah.
This is an RM35. So Richard Mille RM35. I just sold this piece yesterday. $375,000.
Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah, it's a big boy piece. Richard Milles are very, very hard to come about. And they're hard to find. And I'm privileged. I'm very, very privileged to have incredible clients. I have guys that are just good old fashioned blue collar clients, and I have some guys that are billionaires, and that like to collect very unique, rare pieces. And but to be honest with you, obviously, look, it's nice to make money, but to be able to service people that aren't on the wealthier side of life, I almost appreciate more. Again, I come from a very, very blue collar background, and I get a lot of DMs and messages from people that are saying that say to me, and I've got a bunch even today, that say to me, hey, I'm interested in an engagement ring, but I don't know if you deal with pigeons like me. I don't have NHL money. And when people say that to me, I almost take it a little personal. I don't like it. I really don't. And I reply to them immediately, and I set up a phone call with them, and I explain to them, hey, listen, everything in life is relative, and I'm the last guy that's going to judge anybody based on what you have in your bank account. I have friends that are multimillionaires. I have friends that are billionaires, and I have friends that are, that make $50,000 a year. And the truth is everybody's got their problems. And and to that point, I actually still just get along a little bit better with, guys that are just old fashioned blue collar. All my best friends from Philly are still my best friends. And so it's a cool dynamic in my business to be able to work with all these different type of people.
Yeah, for sure. So Larry, with you have a client come in. Obviously you have to be able to read them a little bit, like they're looking around saying, oh, I like this, I like this. How do you go about reading a client to say, well, I think this suits you better than this other piece?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So when it comes to my clients, I work very differently than the traditional jeweler. Traditional jewelers, and this is not a knock on their business, but traditional jewelers, you walk into a jewelry store and you might say, hey, I want to spend $20,000 on a round diamond engagement ring. And they generally they pull out a bunch of diamonds from their inventory. They know how they bought them. They know where their margins are. And God bless them, but they want to maximize their profits, and that's the name of the game in business. But I work completely different. If someone comes to me and says, hey, this is what I want to spend $20,000 on a round, like I work with some of the biggest diamond dealers in the world. My network's incredible. A lot of these guys love working with me. Obviously, they know my background. They know who I work with, and they're very transparent. And they're amazing. They're the biggest in the industry. And so for my clients, instead of saying, hey, this is what you should buy, I have this in my inventory. Instead, I go and I find the right diamond options, desirable diamond options for my client's budget. Desirable diamonds speak of diamonds that are, that not only, good color or clarity, but there's a lot more to diamonds than just, the 3Cs. There's make or measurements of the diamond, fluorescence, location of inclusion. There's a lot of little detail that can negotiate a price, by thousands of dollars. And when I work with people, I make sure that they're never getting anything but a desirable diamond, a quality diamond. And I back that up by offering my clients 100% full trade-in for life if they ever want to upgrade or something. And the reason why I do that is I don't ever mind taking a diamond back from a client that I've sold, because I know it's a quality diamond, and I can either take it and get rid of it immediately to another dealer, or hold it and sell it to another client. I've got a lot of options where, if a jeweler or a jewelry store, hits a home run on a diamond that's, not a desirable diamond or has a bad make, but you don't know the difference. Right. You only find out what it's really worth when you go to trade it in. And generally they don't really want to try to take them back because they've already hit their home run. So that'd be going backwards. And so I avoid those type of things. That's not the way I like to do my business. I like to be very transparent. And I basically, and I tell all my clients this, and it's the truth. Anytime I offer a diamond to a client, I tell them that this is based on your budget and what you want to do. This is what I would advise my little brother to buy based on the budget. And that's as honest and transparent as I can be. And honesty is the most important thing in the jewelry business. I'm sure everyone watching, especially you guys, have, probably think all jewelers try to kind of take advantage. You don't really know. No one really knows the value of diamonds. And so there's a lot of gray area, but I try very hard to make sure my clients understand that transparency is key with me. I want to make sure that you're all truly taken care of.
Yeah, you're in it to take care of them, not really caring about yourself first, right? What's the biggest diamond you've ever sold?
Boy, I've sold some big ones. I've recently sold a 15.25 carat. Just over 400,000.
Is that just the diamond, or is that like a ring?
Yeah, that's all. No, that's all in. That's all in. But yeah, it's I have the privilege of working with some big boy diamonds. Sometimes it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's definitely exciting, but
do you how do you acquire those? Like you go somewhere and then are you not sweating your bag off carrying those around or wherever?
No, I don't do
somewhere. No,
I don't carry things around. This business is very secure.
Yeah.
There's armed guards that deliver goods, all over the world.
Yeah.
it's very, very easy to get, diamonds on memo from other dealers. Look, the diamond business is very similar to the hockey world. It's a very small network. It's a very small world. Everyone kind of knows each other. So
Yeah.
It's very easy to kind of communicate with, certain dealers, and you figure out who might have what. And so we all kind of deal with one another every day. So that's basically the business.
Yeah. What's kind of your favorite, I'm going to say, engagement story? You probably have a lot, but do you have like a favorite one, or the one that kind of stands out the most to you?
Well, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There is a lot, but there's one that comes to mind. And I got a buddy, his name is Keith, and he's become a very good friend of mine. And I met him through, he listens to other hockey podcasts. He heard me on Spit and Chicklets, and his family is a minority owner of all three of the major sports teams in Washington, D.C., excluding the Redskins, and awesome guy, big hockey fan. And, he reached out to me and said, hey, I was thinking about getting engaged. I heard you on Spit and Chicklets. Would you mind talking? Of course. And so we got talking a little bit, and he asked me for a very unique engagement ring, a Colombian natural, no oil emerald, a fairly big size. They're very rare. They're magnificent green emerald rings. And I built him something that's, it's not every day that you make a green emerald engagement ring. No. They're very unique with side baguette diamonds, baguettes, and in platinum setting. It's something you would find at like a Harry Winston for a fraction of the price with me, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I built him something that's so lights out. His whole family was just in awe of what I did for them, and they're bright people, very successful people. So they knew pricing, and they knew what I did for them. And they had as a family reached out to me and thanked me for what I did, and him and I built a tremendous friendship, which he's my boy now, and we go to vacation, we go to his place. He's got a beautiful place in Beaver Creek, Colorado, and so that's one of them that come to mind, because not only was I able to obviously do some business and sell a beautiful engagement ring, but I made a great friend out of it. So that was really
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. You on the opposite side, have you ever had any bad experience? Someone come back to you and kind of say it didn't go as they planned, or?
It's funny you say that. I had a call yesterday from a client who, he bought a ring almost a year ago from me, and he reached out to me yesterday and let me know, hey, this thing didn't work out. What's the next step? And of course, I'm there to help him, and I'm gonna take the ring back and obviously try to sell it and then maximize his money, which is not a problem at all. But there's been some other stories, including a guy in the NHL. I won't say his name right now, but he's a very good friend of mine, and he just went through a breakup, and it happens. But,
absolutely.
Yeah, it does happen.
Yep. Where'd you get one of those lids you got there?
I got some of these for you boys. Don't worry.
Those are so nice.
Yep.
Yeah, these are Melon. I don't know if you've heard of the brand. They're great hats.
No.
I mean,
I know they look super.
They're
those look super
nice. Really, really high end. I buy these.
Yeah.
I give them out to clients, and
those are sick.
They're pretty cool. I got my logo on there, and I got a buddy. His name is Sean. He's out in Long Island, who is a rep for the company and takes really good care of me. They're great. People love them. There's this style here, the curved brim here, and then there's a flat brim style. You got a bunch of different colors, but people love them. They last forever. Nice. They're waterproof. They're really, really cool hats. So if anybody's watching, you're interested, you can just look up Melon's website.
Where you get them from? Is it?
Well, not me, but you can. But these, I mean, people can contact me and get them from me too. I don't even make money on them. I sell them for what they cost me. I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, I'll top on that for sure.
Yeah, I got them for you boys. Don't worry.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you're boys with the Missing Curfew crew. You're lately just in Tahoe. How was that experience?
We had a great time.
I bet.
They're doing something really cool with their podcast.
This is blowing up.
This is something that Shane O'Brien's been really had his sights on for quite some time now, and obviously going from the retiring transition into radio and doing work with the NHL. With NHL Network and some radio in Canada. he's really wanted to try to, get into the podcast world. O'Brien he is a hockey guy to the max. He knows the game. He loves talking about the game. We've spent thousands and thousands of hours, up late hours of the night talking hockey, and he really understands the game, and he's a real hockey guy. And so, once he started to get some traction on the opportunity to really do some podcasts and have his own, obviously he went to, Scotty Upshaw and asked him, hey, Uppy, you want to be a part of this? And Uppy, they're all my brother. We're all best friends.
Yeah.
Uppy he's a special guy. He's a character. He's a character. And, getting him on was great. And then obviously getting Jimmy Hayes on, who's also a dear friend of mine. He's a beauty. They got a good team, and they talk the game well. They tell great stories. And again, I'm privileged to have been, on that show quite a bit. But, we went to Tahoe. They got us a private bird, and we flew up there, and we had a good time. We hung out in the casino. We did a little gambling. We did some cool podcasts, and got to kind of see the rink and the whole setup. It was a beautiful setup.
Wasn't it really nice? Yeah,
it was
nice on TV, but I'm sure
it was really nice. And it was cool to be there, and more importantly, it's good to just be with the boys and spend. We love spending quality time together. We got a good group, so we love hanging.
Is there any truth you guys were getting noise complaints your first night up there? Something about the boys is we love our tunes. And we might have had the tunes buzzing a little bit. We're all sitting around. We weren't being. I can tell you one thing: we weren't being bad. Yeah.
We were not being bad. They got thin walls in the hotel, but we were just listening to tunes, hanging out, telling stories, and being us. And we got a couple of knocks on the door, and we've done worse.
Yeah. Yes, but speaking of podcasts, me and Walker were the other day at work. We were trying to find the Larry Flowers, and we couldn't find it anywhere. And then the Larry Flowers returns. We were going to listen to him, but we couldn't. We tried to find it. Yeah, I couldn't find them.
So there was a little, the Missing Curfew boys were originally with a company called Action Park Media, owned by Kevin Connolly. There was some negotiations back and forth that didn't really work out, and so they went in a different direction. And there was a little bit of time in between where X amount of episodes were kind of tied up during the transition. But from what I understand, they've just been released or are being released 100%. And so they'll be back on Missing Curfew's platform for you guys to listen to. So like I said, there was a little transition where they were kind of tied up, but they'll be available again. If they're not already, they will be very soon.
And yeah,
it's a great, and honestly, and I don't like to just pump my own tires, but great. That episode was legendary, and we had a ton of fun doing it. And O'Brien was licking his chops, getting a piece of me and giving me a hard time about, the blue story and, the cup and my behavior with the cup. And so, and so it's a great episode. And anybody out there that hasn't heard it, and I'm not just saying this because it's mine, but it's definitely worth a listen. It's really, really funny.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it, because we've been trying to do it for a while, but couldn't get it. And then on podcasts, you're on the Chicklets. You're good friends with the boys there too, then?
Oh, very good friends. I've known those guys a long, long time, and I've had the privilege of going on there quite a few times as well. And like I said, the hockey world's a small world, man. And,
yep, absolutely.
Yeah, they're all great, and they've all helped me tremendously, and helping my business. And my story goes a little bit deeper than just just, hey, I'm a jeweler and I have friends in the NHL. I've had a lot of ups and downs.
Yep.
My old partner who's got me into this business, who's my childhood best friend, my brother, passed away 4 years ago, almost to the day. And it was a tough transition, and I had to really pick myself up and rebuild myself. And the Spit and Chicklets guys are, obviously my best friends, Luke, Suppy, Obes, and Andy Mack, and a bunch of those guys were there really to help me. And but also the Spit Chicklets guys helped me tremendously and put my name out there on the podcast and brought me on as a guest, which was tremendous. And I'll never forget any of it. Anybody all these people that have helped me. I went through some crazy things that several years back, and it's made me a better person overall. Not only not only in my business but personally. And I found out who my true friends were, and I'll never forget it. So it was. I'm very grateful to a lot of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's unfortunate sometimes you got to go through the rough times and figure out your true friends. It's I've had a couple of spells myself in life. I'm sure we all do, but yeah, it's crazy how life goes sometimes, and you hear that growing up that it happens, and you can never really believe it until it actually happens, and then kind of.
Yeah, we all have stories, and
Yep.
that's life.
Absolutely,
being from where I'm from, unfortunately, I know too many. I've been a part of too many stories, but it made me who I am, and
exactly.
maybe better.
Yep. You're one hell of a man from it.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Fox, you got something?
Kind of an oddball question here, but we got guys from all over. From Philly, correct? What is the best spot to go for a Philly cheesesteak?
Oh yeah.
I could do this all
with
day.
opening ball day too.
I could do this all day. Yeah. Well, there's actually it is a debate that will live on forever in the Philadelphia area. But if you ask me, it's not even a debate. The best of the best of the best in the world is called Steve's Prince of Steaks. The original is in my neighborhood in Northeast Philadelphia. There's quite a few locations now. But they use like these, instead of the chopped up meat, they use like these thin pieces of really good quality ribeye, real thin, but they're like sliced like this. And they use the best. Philadelphia is known for its bakeries, Pennsylvania, and Philadelphia's got the best bread in the country, which is why it's considered the best sandwich city in the country. And they use they stack it on this amazing bread, and they load it up with meat, and they use this melted white American cheese. It's melted. Boys, if you ever get to Philly, you let me know. I know the owner very well. I grew up with the daughter and the family, and if you boys are ever in Philly, you let me know. I'll get you guys dialed in there. You'll have the best sandwich you'll ever have in your life. I'll take that to the bank.
Walker, we're taking a roadie, buddy.
That's right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You a big ball fan, Larry? Baseball?
Of course. I'm a big 4-for-4 guy. In Philly, we call it 4-for-4. All four of the big sports guys.
All of them? You like them all?
I'm diehard. I saw the Phillies win the World Series in 08. I was there. I saw the Eagles win the Super Bowl a few years ago. I was there in Minnesota. I'm as diehard as they get, man. I love Philly sports.
You like Sixers, obviously, too, then? Yeah.
All four of them, man.
Sixers, eh? So yeah, you're there for the championship. Let's get into your big championship run. St. Louis Blues. The man responsible for it all. So yeah, let's get into it all. How did this all come about? How did you bring Gloria to them, make that famous and everything? Let's hear it.
Okay, first of all, I don't know if I would say the man that I don't know how truly responsible I am for it all. There's a guy. The story was cool, but I'm obviously very, very close with that organization and a lot of the team, a lot of the guys on that team on the roster. And Scotty Upshaw played for them for 3 years, and he's one of my best friends. And so, I would fly out there all the time and hang out with my boy and meet the guys. And they had high hopes that season. They were, a lot of people picked them to win it all. And they were just they just couldn't get it together. They were struggling. They were dead last. I believe they were dead last in the NHL.
Yeah.
And anyone that knows the NHL, the way the points system works, it's very hard to climb out of that because you get ties and everybody gets points every night almost.
Yep.
So they were dead last in the NHL, and they were coming to Philly. I happened to have been in Philly at the time, and the Eagles were playing a playoff game it was a Saturday night, and they were playing the Chicago Bears. And so, I talked to a bunch of my boys in South Philly, and we have this private members only club. It's like literally the end of a row home. It's like old school South Philly. Sorry about that. It's like an old school Italian dive bar, but members only, guys only, no girls allowed. It's like that sports bar. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's not like anybody can just walk in. So anyway, I talked to the boys, and I'm like, hey guys, I'm talking to Bortuzzo, Schwartzy, Steiner, Robbie Fabry, and I said, hey guys, I know it's been tough, and we wanted to hang out. They wanted to watch the Eagles game with me. It's a big deal. They're in Philly. Eagles are playing. It's a playoff game. Eagles are life. That's everything. In Philly, and so they agreed to come to this bar. And so I set it up real nice. I told all the boys that were at the bar, like, hey, I got a bunch of my buddies from the Blues coming. Like, let's show them a good time. Let's be respectful. Let's let's not overwhelm them with let's just treat them with respect. And obviously they were very excited to have them. And they're in their Uber on their way to the bar, and I get a text message from Bortuzzo, and he said, hey, Flowers, man, guys are a little nervous here. Like, are we lost? Are we in the right neighborhood? Because South Philly's that's a real neighborhood. That's a tough neighborhood. And they're like, are we in the right place here? You guys are a little nervous. And I said, listen, you're with me. And that bar is or South Philly's got a lot of ties with the Italian, if you get my drift. And and I know a lot of these guys, and so I basically said, hey, Bobo, listen, you're as safe as you could possibly be with me. You're in good hands. Don't worry about it. So they finally get to the bar, and they walked in, and they had a massive, welcoming, like, everyone crazy, and it was very exciting. They were like, oh my God, it was fully catered. And
was it the whole team or just a few of the boys?
No, it was about 5 of them.
Yeah.
It was Bortuzzo, Schwartzy, or Jaden Schwartz, Alex Steen, Robbie Fabry. Who else was there? Oh, and Joel Edmondson. And they walked in. We had a DJ set up and tons of food. They were like, this is unbelievable. Like, this is how you guys are in Philly. I'm like, yeah, it sure is. So they hung out for a couple hours. We were watching the Eagles game. It was so much fun. The DJ was playing, in South Philly, they still play a lot of the old school, like 70s music, and young people listen to it and dance to it. It's a cool thing about Philly. It's got that old school, Italian dance music, and and that song Gloria was playing, and I remember Robbie Fabry kept yelling. He's like, he's a young kid, and he's looking at me like, what is this song? This song's amazing. And kept yelling, play Gloria. He wanted to hear it over and over. Play Gloria, play Gloria. And so, Steiner and I are sitting at the bar. Steiner's like, he was basically, he's the assistant captain. He's kind of like the captain. You guys really looked up to him. He's a special guy.
Leafs are an idiot for trading that guy away.
And he is as special as a human being as they get.
Absolutely.
We can go back to that. But anyway, Steiner and I are looking at him like, look at this kid. He's having a great time. Like, good for him. And anyway, so we're sitting at the bar and we're having a good time. And Steiner and I, like I said, we're talking, and he said, man, Flowers, this season's just not going the way we expected. And I don't know, he had a big part in, like, helping or being, at least having a voice in the GM's decisions on who to bring in and stuff. And so he was, he's a very important part of that team. And, he said, I don't know what's going on. And, and I said, hey man, just keep plugging, man. Just keep being a leader, keep doing your thing. And he said, you know what, man, and I think it was him or Bortuzzo. We were all kind of sitting together. And he said, if we win tomorrow against the Flyers, we're going to play this Gloria song in the locker room, a little victory song for fun. Let's see if we can make that happen. Like, all right, cool. And I kind of laughed about it.
Yeah.
Forgot about it.
It was really
kind of in one ear out the other. No. And the next day, they, this kid named Jordan Binnington, who no one's ever heard of, gets his first NHL start. And
was that his first start?
As his first NHL start. He gets a 3 Cobb.
Yeah.
He gets a 3 Cobb shutout, and they started playing the song in the locker room. And Bortuzzo texted me right away, hey man, we're playing the song in the locker room. This is great. Boys are loving it. Like, they heard the stories and stuff, and they said, okay, cool. And so, next game they said, hey, win again. Let's see what happens. And they win again, and then they win again, and they're playing the song in the locker room. And I think they lost maybe one game, and then there was the break, the All-Star break. I think it was the All-Star break or it was one of the breaks. And Uppy and I brought a bunch of the guys. We had a small group, went to Cabo and had a good time during the break. And we were there for like 4 days. It was, just good times. And by the time that break was over, they went back to playing hockey, and they went on a tear. They won 10 in a row, and they're playing this song in the locker room. They're playing it everywhere. They're playing it on the bus. They're playing it on the plane. They're just loving it. They're having a good time with it. And Bortuzzo says, hey, send me some shirts, from the bar. And I send them a bunch of shirts. They start wearing them, and the story starts to just snowball. They're winning and they're winning. And obviously Spit and Chicklets, they're my boys, Biz and Wit. We talked a lot about it. They're like, man, what's going on with this thing? And I went on and, I gave an interview, and the story exploded. And they obviously made it. They creeped into the playoffs, and the rest is history, man. They just went on a complete tear, and they made it to the finals. And at that time, there was camera news outlets from all over the country and Canada that at the bar, and it was wild, man. Every night there was a game. I mean, there were so many people at the bar. It was a legendary moment. It's almost like a folk legend story, especially in that neighborhood. That's a really, really true blue collar neighborhood, and to have things like that happen is really, once in a lifetime. And they felt a connection to the team, and lo and behold, the Blues won the Stanley Cup, and it was something. Play Gloria, man. It was everywhere in St. Louis. I was going to the games in St. Louis and traveling back and forth with friends of mine, and it's everywhere. I mean, Budweiser was putting it all over their, like, it'll be there forever. It's all over, like, their big what are they called?
Banners
things
or
where the things where they actually make the beer in the factories, and it was everywhere in St. Louis. It was so cool. And guys would talk to me and be like, oh my God, you're the guy that started Play Gloria. It was something that I'll never ever forget. I mean, when I'm an old man and tell that story, obviously there's a lot more to the story. Being on the ice after they won the cup and being invited on the ice and being handed the cup.
Yeah, tell us, we're here. Let's see it. Let's hear it,
let's
man.
do it,
Like,
man.
what a time. Like, not many guys get to do that aren't players, right?
How heavy is the cup?
Yeah, how heavy? Or
I
was
think
it like
30? Was it 35 pounds? I think they say it is, or something like that.
I think they say something like that. Did it feel light at the time though? Probably.
It literally felt like a feather. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
It was light. But yeah, when we were in Boston, it was Game 7, and everyone was really nervous. And they just came out and they got it done, and they withstood Boston's 10-minute run. They brought it Boston hardcore. Benny just made some incredible saves, and again they won the cup, and obviously I get invited down with the family and everything, and Braden Shen looks at me and he says, "Hey, Flowers, hey," him and Schwartz, all the boys were raising the cup and taking pictures and stuff, and he looks at me and says, "Hey man, I'm handing this thing to you, don't drop it." I said, "Man, no, I don't think it's a good move. I don't think it's a good idea. I know you're not supposed to, technically, I know you're really not supposed to raise the cup." And anyway, he looks at me, he's like, "Hey, Flowers, this thing's coming to you. So just be ready and don't drop it. Don't slip." And so he did. And I got a legendary picture with me, him and Schwartzy, all three of us together. And another picture, I'm holding the cup up on the ice, and there's fans in the background. And it was so cool. And
unreal.
I mean, I don't even know what this, it was so crazy and so surreal. And then obviously after that, we, everybody flew back to St. Louis, and obviously then we get there, and it was the parade, and
were you in the parade, Drew?
Oh yeah, everyone had their own floats, and Bortuzzo asked me to be on his float with him, and it was so cool. I mean, Schwartzy was in front of us, Shenner was behind it, and it was like, it was surreal. And the fans in St. Louis were, I mean, there were so many. I think they said it was like 1.5 million people, or there was a lot of people, and we're right in it. We're running around, and we're, with the fans, and I had, my Flowers St. Louis Blues jersey, and people knew it. People were yelling at me left and right, "Thank you," like, "Play Gloria," and it was, I didn't play, and I don't pretend to be like, I don't pretend to be any more influential in the whole cup run or the story than I really am, but that was a small part of it. And they showed the team showed me a lot of, they wanted me to be a part of all the celebrations and stuff. So after, we get to the parade and we go through it. At the end of the parade is the arch, in St. Louis is the big arch where the stage was set up, and there's a massive field. And so we finally get to the end, and everyone's kind of meeting before the arch, and Steiner and I were together at that time and hanging and laughing, and oh my God, this is crazy. And we start to walk behind the arch there's a stage there where the team finally goes on, and is in front of like hundreds of thousands of fans, and you know, to be presented officially. And you know, Steiner kind of grabbed me, and we're walking up these steps, and I stop. I said, "Hey," I said, "This is probably as far as I can get. You know, it's just the team. It's just the team, the head coach, and the GM." And I stop. I say, "Steiner, this is as far as I go, man. Enjoy yourself. Go be with your boys." And he looks me dead in the eyes and goes, "Flowers, man, you're with us. You're coming with me." He grabs me by the right here and pulls me on the stage, and I'm just standing on the stage with the whole team, and it was incredible looking out to this crowd, and we're all. It was just a surreal moment. And then actually, I'll tell you a really, really funny story. And I wasn't allowed to tell the story until after he retired, but my boy Steiner just did retire, so it's not bad or anything. But it's
no.
We're on the stage, and Steiner and we were together on the stage, and we're just the whole time just looking at each other like, look at this crowd, this is wild. And later on, we ended up on the team plane, and I'll back up, but we get on the team plane and we're flying out to Vegas, just a team and myself. And Steiner kind of tells the story to all the boys and said, "Hey boys, you know, at one point, you know, we're all standing on stage, and Army comes up to me, Doug Armstrong, the GM, comes up to me and gets in my ear. He grabs me and says, you know, 'Hey, who the F is that guy?' And Steiner goes, 'Oh, don't worry, that's just Larry. Don't worry.' And Army walks away, and I guess he comes back like 5 minutes later and grabs him again and says, I don't remember signing this effing moron." And, you know, it was like a joke. I'm not supposed to be on stage, and Doug Armstrong doesn't really know who I am. And he told the story on the plane, and the plane erupted. But it was hilarious to hear that story. But anyway, we're on the stage, and guys just having their moments, lifting the cup in front of this massive crowd in front of St. Louis. And again, you know, it comes to the point where Jake Allen is about to grab it and have his moment in front of the crowd. And before he does, he looks at me and he says, "Hey, Flowers," he's like, "This thing's coming to you next." You know, kind of like a Shenner moment. He says, "Hey, this thing's coming to you next. So be ready." And I said, No. He said, "Man, it's coming. Be ready." So he has his moment, and he turns around and hands it to me. And I raise it over my head in front of this crowd. And he grabbed my phone, Jake Allen, and took a picture from behind me. It's the coolest picture I'll ever take probably in my life.
With the crowd all in front of you?
The crowd
from
behind. It's unbelievable. So it was really an incredible thing. And so, you know, after that, we all go back to the locker room in the arena. We go back to the locker room. All the boys jump in the cold tub, the hot tub, and we're all showering and laughing. And we're getting ready. We all have our bags, and we're going. They invite me to go on this private big plane to go to Vegas with just a team. No coaches, nothing. Just and we're in the locker room getting ready, and I grab my wallet, you know, once we're all ready to go, and to head over to the bus to go to the plane. And this is actually my wallet, just happened to be next to me. This is my wallet. If you guys can see, it's a black and checkered Louis Vuitton wallet. Yeah. And so we're on the bus, and we're about to pull away out of the arena to go get the plane, go to the plane. And one of the guys on the team, he says, "Hey, I can't find my wallet. You know, like, where's my wallet? We can't go. He's got his ID. You can't get on the plane without his ID." And we're like, "What do you mean you don't have your wallet?" He's like, "Someone stole my wallet. Like, it's gone." And we're like, no one's, you know, Steiner's like, "No one stole your wallet. Like, let's find this thing. Let's go. We got to go." And he's going all over the place. I'm just sitting there, like, you know, Steiner's was next to me on the plane or on the bus. And I'm just sitting there like, all right, like, let's just, you know, eventually I'll find it and we'll go. And for some reason, I thought to myself, because this is a moment, it's so surreal that I'm even a part of this. And I was thinking to myself, what if by chance I took his wallet and everyone thought I stole his wallet and this whole thing gets completely ruined? But that's impossible, right?
Yeah.
Because I would never do that.
Why would you do? Yeah.
Right. And so, okay, then I'm back, and then mine goes in and out of my mind. And I'm just sitting there like, okay. And then I think again, like, just for fun, just check your wallet. So I reach in my back pocket and I pull out my wallet. I'm like, it's my wallet. And then I open it, and it wasn't my wallet. It's not my. It's his. It was his idea. Who the heck was it? It was I'll remember in a second. And I open it, and I look at Steiner, and Steiner's looking at me like, he wouldn't think that I would steal it, but he looks at me like, what's going on here? Everyone's looking at me. Guys are hanging over the chairs in front of me on the sides, and they're all like, what? And I look, and I'm like, and then I think to myself, hold on. I feel my front pocket, which is, I never put my wallet there. I don't know why it was there. And I pull out my wallet, and I'm holding two of the exact same wallets.
Nice.
And he was next to me in the stalls in the locker room.
Yeah.
And I accidentally grabbed his wallet and put it in my pocket. And the
When you
bus
already had yours, yeah.
the bus erupts in laughter, and we we go over to the plane, and we all get on the plane. And one last funny story. We're on the plane, and there's three guys, the handlers of the cup. We're in the front of the plane, and we're all on there, and all of a sudden, captain comes back, and again, Steiner's right next to me. We were sitting together the whole time, and he says, "Hey, there's one too many people on this plane. Like, it doesn't make sense. We can't do this. We need one. We need one off." And Steiner's like, "Huh?" He's like, "Yeah, there's someone's not accounted for. Someone's over accounted for." So Steiner goes, "I got this." Yeah. He walks to the front of the plane, and we're all looking at him, and he's leaning over, and he's talking to the captain, and he's like, "What's he doing over there? Like, what's he saying?" And all of a sudden, one of the I guess the lowest guy in the totem pole of the three, one of the guys, the handlers of the cup, you just see him get up and walk off the plane, and I guess they told him, "Hey man, you got to go to the airport and get a commercial flight and meet us in Vegas." Yeah, so they punted one of the guys off the plane to make room for me, and we took
awesome.
took off and went to Vegas and had a legendary 3 days there, and then me and Bortuzzo, Schwartzy, Edmondson, we flew from Vegas to LA and had a nice week there, relaxed, rented a nice place in Beverly Hills, and that's the story as she goes.
That's an awesome story.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
it is the
real.
ultimate fan experience.
Oh man.
There's a lot of, I know a lot of guys that are NHL writers, beat writers, work for TSN and stuff like that, told me it's the greatest fan experience, full story they've ever heard of in the NHL. And there's not a day that goes by I don't think of it, and I'm just very lucky to have been a part of it, and I'll never forget it, man. My whole family, everyone, it was, what can I say? It was incredible.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, that's just like you said, a fan, the dream. Like I fanboy out on your story. You know what I mean? On you, just from your story, let alone your whole experience. How true is the story about you? Is that you on the ring, holding the cup up?
It looks like me.
It does. It does. Man. Well, that's what I said. I'm pretty sure it is, man. Like I said, you're a big part of it all.
The picture of me lifting the cup on the ice in Boston, it's almost identical.
Yeah.
There's a couple little differences, but excuse me.
No worries.
Do I think it's me? Realistically, probably not. But yeah, for the story, I like to tell people, it may not be me, but it may also be me. So it's funny. It's really funny.
Did you ever bring that cup back to the bar?
No, we didn't do
that.
No, but it did make it. It did make its way to Philadelphia. Craig Ruby makes a home outside of Philadelphia, so he had a nice little parade there.
Okay,
awesome. Question off of that, Larry.
Thank you. Sorry, I need some water, boys.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Question off of that: have you considered getting into the championship rings?
I'm sorry.
Have you considered getting into that?
Yeah, so I have. I spoke to someone I'm very close with in the front office at the NHL,
Yeah.
It's all done individually by team owners, but it's something that I wanted to be a part of doing that for the Blues. It didn't work out. Excuse me. Things were happening too fast. I wasn't ready to do it, but hopefully in time I could, be a guy that can do that. I certainly have the capability to do it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, that'd be some.
Oh, just I want to say thanks for coming on, Larry, and kind of go about if somebody were to be interested, how they get a hold of you to get jewelry and one of those hats.
Yeah, throwing all your plugs there.
Yeah, man. So Instagram is always the easiest. Larry Flowers Jewelry on Instagram. Obviously, there's my website, there's my email and stuff like that. Everyone's got Instagram. Larry Flowers Jewelry on Instagram. You can DM me. I respond to everybody. You can't believe how many DMs I get every day. It's incredible. I respond to everyone. That's the easiest place. And plus, you can kind of see a lot of my work and a lot of like proposals and engagement rings I build and a lot of watches that I post. And during my story, I post a lot of inventory throughout the day of things that I just want to throw out there for people to see. But I work with all budgets. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you want to spend, a couple $1,000s, if you want to spend, $1 million. I do it all. I'm very honored and privileged to work with every single person and client that I work with and deal with. And yeah, that's the easiest way to get in touch with me. Just shoot me a DM. I will get back to you.
Awesome. Well, Larry, I really do appreciate your time, man. It's an honor to talk to you. It was great. Big fan, and we follow you along. Still will. Hope you keep in touch maybe in the future. If you ever get any business opportunities in Canada, I'm always looking. But yeah, thank you so much, man, for being a part of the show. I just want to let everybody know, a reminder, Off the Puck can be caught every Saturday night, 9 p.m. on Rogers TV, Channel 20. Also catch us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Off the Puck Hockey. And I'm your host, Adam Stiles, and with my coworker and my good buddy, Michael Walker. We just thank you again, Larry. We really appreciate it. And this was episode 10, season 2, Off the Puck. Thanks so much. And we'd like to thank Maddie behind the scenes, Marty Zilster for the music. Take care, Larry.
And guys, deeply, deeply honored to have been a part of this with you guys. You guys have a great podcast. Keep doing it, man. I love what you guys are doing. Anything you ever need from me, I'm a phone call away. So God bless you both. And thank you again for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming on, Larry.
All
Thanks,
right, boys.
man. Appreciate it, man. You're the man.
Cheers.
Cheers.